Compass FM with Steph. We welcome Breannan Wiremu from the Wiremu District Council. He's their Civil Defence Emergency Management Officer. Kia ora, Breannan.
Kia ora, Steph.
I thought we had a bit of an update with the Kermadec this morning, the earthquakes, and we've had quite a few. How has that impacted on us today, here in Canterbury?
In Canterbury and certainly across the Wiremu district, we're pretty lucky. We've kind of dodged the bullet. There is still a risk, though, out there in our coastal area, inside the seawater and the river mouths. So whilst things are a little bit different in parts of the North Island, all we need to do down here is just stay out of the water on the coastal strip. Keep off the beaches is the best thing, because you just never know if there'll be a sudden surge coming out of the sea when these sorts of tsunami actions are going on.
Yeah, good as gold. Now, Breannan, I was on a Facebook page, I think it was a Kaipoi one, and a couple of people have said, hey, did you get a text warning? And a few people said, yes, I did. And so there was a bit of confusion as to why some people were receiving that and some weren't. Can you explain briefly about that text warning?
Yeah, so the national warnings that people may have been receiving earlier today in the morning have been sent by or initiated by the National Emergency Management Agency. And much later today, Canterbury Regional Civil Defence put out its own alert using exactly the same system. And the reason why Canterbury put out one, and our one would have only gone across the Canterbury province, is that we're hearing whispers in many of the districts of Canterbury of people being confused about what is the current situation for Canterbury. It's probably no secret that there was a tsunami warning early hours this morning at about 2:30. People were evacuating, and then suddenly the alert for that one was cancelled, and moments later a second event occurred and there was another tsunami warning. And then a third one has occurred again. And so because of the possible or the potential for confusion down here, Canterbury Regional Civil Defence and each of the councils agreed to it that we should put out a communication for Canterbury people that clarifies what the situation is down here. Why some people may not have received it while others did receive it is for exactly the same reasons as the nationally initiated message. Some phones it just doesn't work. Some places in New Zealand, the same phone could work in Amberley today, but it might not work in Rangiora tomorrow, for example. So you get these funny technical glitches, and there's nothing that we can do about that.
Good as gold. So I'm talking to Breannan Wiremu from Civil Defence Emergency Management here in the Wiremu District. So for us, do we know how long this warning is going to be? Like, how long do we need to be staying away from our beaches, our rivers, our estuaries and our harbours?
Great question there, Steph. So the answer is we don't know. We never know straight away, and we never know early when tsunami risk occurs. What we understand through the scientists is sometimes it can take several hours, and sometimes it can take many more hours, perhaps even longer than 24 hours. So we rely very heavily, when I say we, I'm talking about civil defence at every level in New Zealand, in the local councils, at regional level, and inside the beehive where the National Emergency Management Agency staff are working from at the moment, is that we rely heavily on the scientists to tell us this. And the scientists have access to remote sensors that are floating in the sea. Mm-hmm. And they are awaiting the current of the sea to hit those buoys, those floating devices, to trigger the activities of the sea to understand whether the currents are safe and whether the likely tsunami action has finished or not. And that can take hours, it can even take more than a day. So the message for our community, be patient, stay away from the water until you get the all-clear message. And the all-clear message will come from Civil Defence, and it will be very clear messaging like the very first warnings that went out shortly after morning.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for your time today. That's Breannan Wiremu from Civil Defence here in the Wiremu District. So just a reminder again to stay away from coastal areas, stay out of the water, sea, rivers, estuaries, including small boats, stay off your beaches and shore areas, don't go sightseeing, and make sure you tune into Compass FM and also check out Civil Defence on your radio and your TV. Thank you so much for your time today. That's Breannan Wiremu from Civil Defence.
Compass FM.